banter a
All
little
right,
bit.
welcome back to the You Should Fact Check This podcast. This is episode 9. This is number 2 this week. It feels pretty good. I feel like we're really getting rolling on this. You know, I was livid at Peter last week because he picked something else over our podcast, and I was a little disappointed. But
I was shredding the gnar.
he was dying on the mountain. But you know, we're getting the second one in this week to make up for it. This will be technically number 9 on our page. It will be number 8 because number 5 is Lost to the Abyss.
That's brutal.
Yeah,
that sucks.
It is brutal, and it does suck, but it is what it is sometimes. So we're here.
And this podcast is brought to you by Slate Chocolate Milk.
It's just not. It's just not at all. But you know, Peter can dream. So yeah,
and Costco grapes.
Fantastic. It does feel a little weird trying to do 2 a week though.
I kind of like it.
I honestly kind of like it too. I was thinking maybe we should up our take, but
it's going to be hard to like we're going to have to space them out better if we do it.
Yeah, I think so too. It's difficult because we are trying to talk about things that are happening, current events, you know, business, sports. And in some weeks, I think that will be quite easy. But in other weeks, it's like the only thing that's been happening right now is the Ukraine issue, which isn't entirely true. But if you look at news apps, that's pretty much what they talk about.
Yeah.
But we'll figure it out. We'll see how it goes. And obviously, this is number 9, so we have no one listening, so it doesn't matter. But on that note, do you have a bold take of the day?
A bold take of the day.
Bold statement of the day.
I don't know, man. Why don't you go first? You never have one.
I do almost never have one. However, I think that it's not really a bold take, but it's, you know, obviously everyone is pretty much done with this COVID shit, but the government is still chomping at the bit at it. And it's not even, there's no take here, but I'm really interested to see how long they can actually try and hold on to whatever they think they have in terms of COVID.
What are they trying to do? Are they trying to shut us down again?
Well, yes. So Fauci recently said,
dude, Fauci's a fraud.
I'm with you.
That's my bold take of the day. Fauci is a fraud.
Fauci is I think Fauci is a guy who has never really been relevant to the mass of people until COVID happened.
He loved the power.
And he loved it. I think he did have a little bit of that feeling back in the AIDS crisis, and probably was kind of just itching for it ever since then. And when this happened, he's been trying to milk it as much as he can. But it's hard to say. You don't want to call you really don't want to say someone is just like an absolute fraud, like Peter was saying, but it's it's difficult to it's honestly it's quite difficult to give him the benefit of the doubt, because he's made lots of errors and he's tried to cover up a lot of stuff that, I mean, honestly, if he would have just came out and said stuff at the beginning, I don't think people would have been as upset. But you know, he recently said that the Americans are going to have to get ready for a new set of COVID sanctions, or COVID whatever, not sanctions, but
what do you mean?
Like closings, like closing down schools and all that other bullshit?
Why?
I have no idea. I literally have no idea. I looked on the news app today and I was like, I forgot COVID was a thing.
We have literally 0 new cases in Missoula. No one cares anymore.
So when did that happen?
No one's getting
when did that happen
tested.
for you guys?
I just saw that headline like 3 days ago. We got 0 new cases for the first time since 2019 or whatever.
But that, I just don't understand how literally 3 months ago it was like the world was ending because of COVID.
Yeah.
And then now.
And now we're completely. It's the new variant, dude. It was the variant.
It's just so frustrating because.
Dude, less than 2 months ago, they were sending Olympians home because they tested positive for COVID. They trained 4 years for it, sent them home, and now we're just like, yeah, we're good.
Okay, first off, if you're a fucking Olympian and you get COVID, you can probably compete even with it.
Oh, duh. And it was like ski jumpers.
Dude, you literally have to be good for 5 minutes in one day.
Yeah.
To do a good ski jump. Which, honestly, I wish I was an Olympic ski jumper because it's sick as shit. But
yeah, you got the dimensions for it.
I know.
You could be an Olympic ski jumper.
Dude, I could fucking float through the air. You kidding me? I would be the guy that lands on the flat part and just like evaporates on impact because I went too far.
Yeah, you would die. Yeah.
And they would be like, he set a world record, but he's gone now.
Anyway, back to COVID.
Yeah, there's no function in my brain that like can understand how we're still even talking about it. Everything's open. Okay, everybody got COVID in December. Literally everybody.
Yeah.
Literally everybody got COVID in December, and then I haven't heard a goddamn word about it since then. Especially since the war happened.
Airports are about to ditch the mask mandate.
Yeah, that's in 15 days, right?
I think so.
I flew on a plane twice recently, and that was the one time where I was like, I forgot that COVID was a thing. That was like,
dude,
it was like 3 weeks ago. I got on I went to the airport. First off, on my way back from Arizona, I didn't have a mask. And they like let me walk through the whole airport, and I got in line. And then as soon as I got up to security, they were like, you need a mask. I was like, you don't have a mask? Like, shouldn't you provide me a mask? And they're like, no, you got to.
That's my main thing. Is if you're going to require someone to wear a mask, you damn well better offer a free mask.
And so I had to get out of line and go find a mask. Thankfully, I did like this clear thing, which just like reads your biometrics and verifies you as a human.
Nice.
And it got me through, dude. It was such a long line. It got me through. I had to go through it twice, and the whole time going through from start of the first one to getting all the way through took me 5 minutes, and it was such a long line. I skipped everybody. It was insane, but yeah.
Now the government has all your information, though.
Yeah, dude. Read my pupils. They're fucking sick as hell. Yeah, but
yeah, I don't know. I've been feeling that way about Fauci for a while. Like he just keeps saying stuff, and then it keeps being wrong, and then he just says, "Oh, well," blah, 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 and then he says another thing, and then that's wrong, and it's like, dude.
Well, I would just love to know, like,
you're not.
At this point, it's been 2 years, and he's been one of the most talked about people on the planet, and then in the past 2 months, no one gives a fuck about him anymore, right?
Right.
So what are you going to do? You're either just going to be like, okay, well, my time's up and I'm going to go back to my job, which he's literally the highest paid government employee.
Is he really?
He is the highest paid government employee and has been for years.
Dang. That's cool.
And so he just gets to go back to his job where he actually has a lot of fucking responsibilities. And he should just do that, right? Or
Yeah.
he's going to be like, fuck, how do I get back into the spotlight? Oh, I'll just tell everybody that more shit's going to happen with COVID when no one cares anymore.
No one cares.
And I know that there's a small subset of people that looked at that and were like, oh, fuck. And then the majority of people looked at it and were like, fuck off, and just swiped past it.
Yeah.
No one gives a shit.
Yeah.
Right? And everyone's having the same conversation as we are. They're like, well, I mean, this Fauci guy is a fucking moron.
Yeah, he's not.
And he's 80 years old. Why every goddamn person in our government is so old?
It's experience.
It's delusion is what it is. And it's delusion, and old people, especially politicians, especially old politicians, are extremely usable.
Yeah.
You can stick your hand right up there, you know what, and use them as a puppet.
Yeah.
So
they're stupid.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's just what it is. But then Biden says this. Biden gets his second booster, and then he outlines the need, the dire need for COVID funding. And I'm like, what are we funding for COVID at this point? And then I read more about it.
Tests. We need more tests.
Dude, they just launched COVID.gov.
They just now
Just
did that?
now, dude.
After 2.5 years?
How was that not the first thing you did? How was that not number one? I mean, seriously.
COVID.
First off, we're the government. If we think that we know everything, maybe we should have a place where everybody can go to find out the information that we want them to know. Hey.
No, that doesn't make sense.
Let's make a goddamn website for it.
Oh my god.
That makes me more mad than them talking about than Fauci saying that shit. Because at this point, that's a dead website. No one gives a shit about that website.
Apparently there's treatment now. Did you know that?
On the website?
Yeah, treatments for COVID-19 are now widely available. If you test positive for COVID-19, talk to a doctor as soon as possible about treatment options.
Wow, I mean, I think it was 4 months ago that treatments weren't real. When was it that Joe Rogan almost got canceled, or they tried to cancel Joe Rogan for all of this?
For a horse dewormer?
No, that was before. That was even further. That was even longer ago. But just recently, they had a whole smear campaign on Joe Rogan.
Oh, I have no clue.
Dude, it was
treatments.
It was just a few months ago. They were getting pissy at him because he hasn't gotten the vaccine.
All right. So it says to relieve symptoms, take acetaminophen.
Okay.
Drink water. Get plenty of rest, obviously. Okay.
My grandma could have told me that.
For people at high risk of disease progression, monoclonal antibodies.
Oh, there it is.
Oral antiviral medications.
Okay.
Oral antiviral, kind of like ivermectin, which is an oral antiviral medication.
They just don't want to say the name.
Some of these treatments may not be effective against the Omicron variant. Okay. Treatment in the hospital. Antiviral medications will slow the virus, reduce an overactive immune response.
I mean, no matter what, this is fucking so annoying because
it doesn't even.
This should have been made week 1. This should have been made April 1st of 2020.
Yeah.
I mean, we're 1 or 2. I don't know how many days there are in March, but we're 1 or 2 days.
2.
We're 2 days away from April 1st of 2022, and they just made the COVID.org or .gov website.
Yeah, I mean, they're just stupid.
It's unbelievable.
It's all about power and then them getting listened to. Yeah. Well, okay, so get this. So at our alum school, at our school we graduated from, Should we roast them? Should we put their name in it?
I mean, yeah, fuck it. We went to everyone knows if you know anything.
Okay, at Fort Lewis College, okay, before the semester started this semester, they required everyone to get boosted, vaccinated and boosted. Okay, you were able to opt out if you had a good reason. So,
Also,
I know many people.
What's a good reason?
To smarter than other people.
I don't know about that, but maybe a good reason is I don't wanna.
Yeah, I think that was Anyway, okay, so they force everyone to get boosted. Okay, what? 6 weeks in, it's gone. So they drop all the mask mandates on campus.
Did they drop the indoor mask mandate?
Yep, all the masks are dropped. No masks in classes, no masks in hallways, no masks anywhere. Okay. Mm-hmm. However, all of the unboosted people still have to get tested every single week. and they can't go to class unless they have a negative test because they're unboosted, even though everyone's not wearing a mask.
And it's obvious and it's been shown
and it's not around
that it doesn't like that the booster, you can still catch it and you can still spread it.
Yes. But every single person who is not boosted has to get a test every week. But every person who is boosted doesn't have to get a test at all.
It is so upsetting that we've gotten so far to the point where no matter where you are, no matter what business you're in, unless you're fucking hard set in your ideals and what you believe in, you're going to fucking placate to this mob that believes that you should be doing everything that this small majority is screaming.
Yeah. It's like, just take a step back for a second. Just release all of your thoughts about anything, okay? And here are the facts that we know. Vaccines and boosters do not prevent you from getting COVID-19 or spreading COVID-19.
Or dying from COVID-19.
Or dying. That is fact number one. Okay? Our school is now saying if you are unboosted, then you have to get tested every week. But no one has to wear masks. That just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
It just doesn't make sense.
I wonder if they have a contract with the testing facility.
Yeah, because you have to pay for everything. Right. It comes out. Did you get the insurance bill when we were getting tested twice a week during the soccer season?
No, I didn't get that for that, but I had to get tested. I got tested twice in Albuquerque because a while back we had to do it for coaching.
$200 probably.
Not even fucking close, dude.
How much is it?
$1,200 per test.
Yeah.
Because they brought me in and they said that they did an evaluation on me. Literally took 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes, probably 5 minutes. They asked me how I was doing. They asked me how my body was feeling and then left. And they charged me $1,200 to my fucking insurance twice.
Jeez.
I mean,
that after that semester, we were getting tested twice a week. Those tests were all free.
Right.
Every single one of them got billed to our insurance.
Same thing as those masks. So the masks that the government said were free that you can sign up for and get them sent to your house, they're not free. Yeah. They get charged to fucking insurance.
And who reaps the benefits? Dr. Fauci. All the people that are making all the damn rules. Because if they keep making damn rules and insurance companies keep making this money, then they keep making money.
The real people that are benefiting from this are the pharmaceutical companies because they had zero input costs. They didn't have to pay for the development of the vaccine. The government foot the bill for it. And the government is the biggest fucking advertisement for the vaccines. All of it.
Yeah, and celebrities.
Yeah. I mean, they're making billions and billions and billions of dollars off of these vaccines that are, at this point, close to useless.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, just look at like, I think a lot can be said from just watching our celebrity culture in America.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So if you look at the Met Gala, I don't know when it was, but whatever it was during the COVID.
That was a while ago.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Not a single damn person was wearing a
mask. Except for all of the staff.
Except for all the staff.
Right, which is hilarious because you're just making it so goddamn obvious what the upper class is versus the lower class. The working class versus the non-working class. You are making it,
but also
you're making it a who's who and who's not.
Right. And all the celebrities talk about is wear a mask, protect others, da 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 da. Okay. Then we have the Super Bowl, which was what? A month ago? 2 months ago now?
A month and a half ago.
Yeah, a month and change. Okay. Still COVID was a thing. Not a single damn person in a mask.
And it was fucking awesome. Now, except for Kanye. Kanye was in a mask. He was in a full face mask.
Well, that's because Kanye is Kanye. but now, and then you look at the Oscars. Okay, COVID is still a thing. There's still commercials with these actors being like, "Hey, protect your other person. Get vaccinated." Da da da. Okay, not a single damn person in a mask.
And then there's an ad that says, "Brought to you by Pfizer."
Yeah,
and you say, "What?"
The same company that is the vaccines?
Wait, you're telling me that Pfizer funds the media companies? What? Oh, uh-oh. There's some bias.
It's just ridiculous. It really is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the fact that some people can't just take a step back and look at it objectively and like
I think
they just get so emotional over it.
I think the main thing is no one took any time to make a legitimate decision. The government,
right.
I get it. There's millions and millions of people. We've got 325 million people in the U.S. You've got to make decisions relatively quickly if we have a disease that is spreading rapidly and we have no idea what's going on. At the beginning, I supported the closures 2 weeks before the whole thing shut down. 2 weeks. Do you remember that? In Durango, we were in the athletic parking lot. I said, this is going to shut the whole fucking world down.
Yeah.
And I told my friend that over 1 million people were going to die from this shit. Both of those were right. I supported closing because I didn't see any other way. However, I was not in a seat of political power. I was not the head of a business. I had no one to take care of except for myself.
Right.
So I didn't have to.
It was awesome being our age and having everything shut down. That was freaking awesome.
It was pretty wild. I mean, the worst part of it was our soccer season got fucking canceled.
Well, yeah,
and I cried a little bit, but
a lot got canceled.
But. Right. So, that shows my privilege. If the worst thing that happened to me was my soccer season getting canceled, your boys got some privilege. And I'm bragging about my privilege. Love it.
But imagine if you were in like high school.
Oh, I know. I mean, we had to do our graduation online.
I mean, they're all stupid now. They're all stupid.
We had to do our graduation
online.
Because they didn't go
to school for a whole damn year. Yeah, we did. Which sucked.
I didn't even know when our graduation was. I literally didn't see it.
Well, it sucked. It was stupid.
Yeah. It was so dumb. But there were high school kids where, it feels like it matters a little bit more probably. I don't know which one matters more to anybody. I didn't care about either one, honestly. But having your high school graduation, having your high school prom, having all of those things canceled, I'm sure that sucked. Having high school sports canceled, I mean, it was difficult to watch because I had a brother who was in high school during it. I had a brother who was in elementary school during it.
Right.
And, the lack of interaction with your friends in person was one of the saddest things I had to watch.
Right.
Because I mean, Lachlan was 6 or 7 when it started, whatever. And I mean, no, at that age, you should be around 7-year-olds a lot.
It's just like socialization of dogs.
Right.
You need to get them socialized.
Yeah. And then Brendan was 15 and in like the main years of high school. And he didn't see friends for probably 4 months. Really, except for like we didn't care so much. We were fine with people coming over and hanging out. But a lot of his friends and their parents were too scared for them to hang out. So we were like, I guess Brendan can't see any friends. So he saw only a couple of people that whole time. And it was, thankfully there were 3 of us, right? I mean, I wasn't there for most of it, but they had each other through most of it. So they were able to hang out and do stuff. But if you were an only child, that would have been brutal.
Yeah.
So, I mean, quite frankly, I thought we were done with the COVID talk.
Yeah, I thought we were too. Should be.
Yeah, it's...
Because even if it comes back, like, what are we going to do? We're not going to shut down again.
No, like what? That's what I was thinking. I'm like...
No one's going to wear a mask again. No one. Well... People
I'm not
will
putting a mask back on. There are people that are still wearing them.
No.
I'm not doing it. I'm not putting a mask back on.
No. No one's getting more. Even the people that I've talked to that have gotten boosted and are all about the first booster, like, I'm not getting a second booster. Like, I'm not.
The thing for me is we all decided to take our masks off, and what happened? The COVID went away.
Yeah. Because everyone got it.
It disappeared, dude. So I don't
know. Like the main reason I got vaccinated was so that I could take my mask off. That was like why I got vaccinated.
I got vaccinated because I wanted to coach.
And I got vaccinated because the government literally promised us, if you got vaccinated, you will not get COVID.
Yeah.
Well, no shit. Yeah, I'll get vaccinated. And then boom, I get COVID. Everyone got COVID. It's like, well, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Oh, well, now if you get vaccinated, you're just not going to die from it. It's like, I won't die from it anyway. Why would I get vaccinated?
Yeah.
Like,
also, now you can die from it still. So,
well, yeah, so what's the point of getting vaccinated now or boosted?
I mean, there's definitely a case for some people.
Well, okay,
yeah,
yes,
immunocompromised.
I'm talking
people.
about individualistically. Yeah. I'm talking about individual me, myself.
Yeah. For me and you, there's very little reason. And that's why I haven't gotten boosted again. Like
0.
I haven't gotten boosted at all. It just doesn't make sense. And number 2, I don't like needles. I don't like the feeling. I don't like it. So I'm not going to do it.
But I also didn't get the mRNA one.
Neither did I.
Because that didn't sound
Yeah,
correct.
It's interesting. I'm interested to see the outcomes of that. I think there's
going to be an infomercial in like 20 years. If you got the mRNA vaccine, you are subject to compensation.
Well, to tie it into what I'm looking at next, it's not going to be an infomercial. You're going to be walking around in a virtual reality world and you're going to see a banner pop up. And it's going to be like, you're going to see a freaking sign on the road that's digital when you're walking through your virtual reality that says, if you got an mRNA vaccine and you died, and now your brain is uploaded into this matrix.
Stupid.
Why is that stupid, Peter? That was a good tie, dude. I'm upset about that.
No.
I'm upset that you didn't play into it a little bit more.
I'm upset that you think that when we die, we're just going to get uploaded into a computer.
No, dude, it was theater.
Huh?
I was acting. It was a joke.
Oh, it's a joke. Okay, gotcha.
Right? Oh, my God. Brutal, dude. Brutal. That one landed flat on its face. All right. Well, I'm done with COVID. I'm moving on from it. I saw that Wendy's is launching a virtual world. So
what does that mean?
Essentially, they're partnering with a company in the metaverse, right? In Meta's virtual world, Horizon's world, and they're launching a new experience on April 2nd, and it's going to be through the Oculus Quest.
The metaverse restaurant.
Yeah, and it's going to be Wendy's in the Horizon's world. So you can go get fake Wendy's food in virtual reality.
Wendy's food isn't good in real life. Why would I go get it fake?
Right. And
When you can't even
here's
taste
a
it.
quote from Wendy's. Fans will be able to jump behind the counter, meet up with friends at the Orange Fanta fountain, and get ready for a mouth-watering adventure.
Awesome.
I just don't. I think that there is going to be a place for restaurants in the metaverse because I've thought about this considering my family owns a restaurant. But I don't understand how that's going to fucking work. Actually, I just thought about how it works. So
you order a cheeseburger and it's going to be delivered to you in real life.
Yeah, something similar to that, right? So if you want to go to a fine dining restaurant, you're going to order this package prior. So you make a reservation. You're going to order the package prior. It's going to show up at your house. It's going to be some fucking microwave cooking thing. You throw it in the microwave, and then you get in the metaverse, and you eat with people or friends or a date or whatever at this restaurant in the metaverse while you're eating at your house alone.
Dude,
and it's going to be depressing
people are gonna
as
get
hell.
So fat.
I cannot wait.
People are going to get so fat. Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I don't know how this leads to a better society.
It doesn't.
Because
man. It doesn't. I've been telling you for like 6 podcasts straight that this is stupid.
The thing is, the world generally tends to lean towards better for humanity, right? Over the past century, things have gotten better. Life expectancy has gotten better. Our ability to deal with sickness has gotten better. Technology has gotten better. We've been able to talk with people from across the world much easier. So generally, things go in a good direction for humanity. I don't see how, and maybe it's because this is just not the future and it becomes apparent in the near future. But as of right now, it looks as though the future is virtual reality, the metaverse style shit. I don't know how that makes a better future.
I'm not seeing it.
I mean, the only case that it makes any, the only way I see it being better is actually like, and it's terrifying, but it's uploading your conscience to a computer.
See, that's stupid.
I agree. But that's the only way I see it actually being better. Because at that point, you get to leave your physical body behind. You don't have to worry about illness. You don't have to worry about aging. You don't have to...
Except Alzheimer's.
No, you don't. Your brain is in a computer now. So the effects of aging don't apply. That's really the only way I see that this being positive, or like towards a better future for humanity. And I think it's super hard to swallow for anyone who cares really and thinks about it, because generally life right now is good. I think people enjoy their physical bodies, and maybe me and you are privileged because we are athletes and we work out and we like our bodies.
And we're not fat as farts.
Pretty much what I just said in a much nicer way. But I don't see like a way in which that is positive for humanity other than leaving our physical bodies behind. Because once you start spending the majority of your time in the metaverse, it's just a matter of time until your physical body just starts going downhill.
I mean,
and we end up like Wall-E.
It can't
characters.
be good. That's literally what we're gonna. It can't. And that's what I was saying last week, or whatever, 2 weeks ago, is that I think that there's people predestined to take part in this metaverse, and I think that those people are the same people that aren't necessarily like working on their fitness in the real world.
The problem is, like, even if you have a good example of a reason why it doesn't work, if it's convenient, you will choose it. Right? If we get all sorts of visuals of people getting overwhelmingly obese because of using the metaverse too much, even if that is the case and you start seeing those, if the convenience level is so high that it makes your life that much easier, you will choose it. And there will be a few holdouts, obviously.
I just can't wrap my head around.
Because the Amish are a thing. But other than that, like, it's going to be really, really difficult to not be a part of it, because
I will not be a part of it.
Humanity leans towards convenience.
Catch me on the flip side.
Right, and then at that point, I don't...
You're going to be all about it.
I don't think you know who I am, Peter, and you do know who I am, actually. I don't even play video games.
Yeah, you're going to be all about it. No, you're going to use it for business for sure. But personally, you won't be in there.
I think it will be hard to not be in there if you want to be a part of business. But, I mean...
Unless you have a real life business.
I mean, there's so many different ways that it can go. Like, let's think about personal training right now. If there was a world where you could put on a pair of goggles, right, that were comfortable, and then you could stand up and you could see the person that you're working with, your client, and they're in Taiwan, but you can see them, you can see how their body's moving, you can see the exact movements of their body, right, in whatever gym in virtual reality you want to be in, and all they need is, a 5x5 space to work out in. Then you could do personal trainings with people from anywhere on the planet at any time just by putting goggles on.
How would that... Right, but like that wouldn't translate to their real body. That would be helping their avatar body.
No. You can, no, because you can totally map all of your movements to every movement of your body. I mean, that is where all of these companies are. That's what they're like. The Meta's goal is to be able to see all of your facial features and make them realistic as possible in the metaverse, right? And you have to...
I think I'd rather be poor and living under a bridge than resort to that.
And I think...
Money or not.
Unfortunately, I think that is the constant in history. I think that if you went back to the 1920s and you asked them about using cell phones and social media, it would be the same response from a similar-minded person like you.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna go back to a flip phone soon.
You're actually not gonna do that.
Why?
Because you're not gonna do that.
Why not?
Well, first off, let's why are you going to do
No, I I'm not gonna do that. But I'm gonna take all my social media off of my phone and just put it on my laptop.
Right.
And use it.
Which is it's a good
don't-
call. And I've done that multiple times, and I've gone back multiple times.
Why do you go back?
Well, in most cases, I go back for business sake, and then I end up staying
Convenient.
longer than I want to, right?
Right. But business can be done on your laptop.
Yes, but it becomes unbelievably simple when it's on your phone.
Yeah.
Right? It's a convenience thing for me. It's much easier to upload videos to Instagram from my phone than it is from my laptop because Instagram doesn't make it easy.
Right.
It's
because they want you to be on your phone
Yeah.
all the time.
because they know people when they're on it on their phone stay much longer than people who are on it on their laptops.
They're so smart.
Right. And this is going to be a common occurrence across the board. So like if you translate that to right now, the cryptocurrency is a huge thing that's talked about constantly now.
Dogecoin went up.
If the government wants to create its own digital currency, it's very, very easy for it to make it the only currency that you want to use.
Oh yeah.
And people don't want to believe that. Because it's scary. You don't want the government to have full control over your monetary your ability to have money. Because
Right.
at that point, if we continue going down this woke cycle where you can't say things and we start enacting that into our everyday life where the government can censor what you say at some point, and this is happening right now in the world in China, if you say something that the government doesn't like, they can literally annex you from society just by turning off your bank account. They take your money and it's gone. China is implementing the digital yuan. They have access to every single person's bank account. And
yeah, I mean, China's smart, man.
And the U.S. could...
I'm not saying I agree with it.
The U.S. could easily do that. Easily.
Yeah.
Because all they would have to do is open up this new digital currency, and then they would tax or, they just make spending other money really difficult, right?
Right.
So if you have to spend way more to use Bitcoin or to use cash or to use regular credit, right? You're not going to use it because you're having to spend way more of your money. And then you're just going to go use their digital currency where they have full control over your financials. Especially, and this is where it gets upsetting, it always comes back to the lower middle and the lower class people, because they have no ability to choose, hey, I'll spend the extra money and keep myself private.
Right.
Because they're living paycheck to paycheck. They cannot afford it. And that's how the governments change. They control the masses by doing that, because the majority of people are living paycheck to paycheck. And then we live in a world where the government can literally annex you from society. You say one thing that people don't like, and you're done. You shop with somebody.
Forever.
You shop with somebody who was a terrorist and you had no idea, but they link you two together, you're done. Your uncle does something terrible, your whole family's done. It becomes a world.
I'd be done by now.
Huh?
I'd be real done.
Why?
I'd be under a bridge.
Why would you be under a bridge? What did you do, Peter?
I just say some controversial things sometimes.
I think we all do. And thankfully, we live in a country where you're actually more or less allowed to say that. But right now we have these giant tech companies that are becoming the censorers of society by, moral virtue, I guess. I don't really know. But
I don't know.
I hope it starts to move in the other way. I hope Elon comes out with a fucking social media that
Banger of an app.
I hope it's just, as free as you can make it. Obviously, you don't want doxing. Obviously, you don't want threats for physical violence. You don't want child porn. You don't want all of those terrible things on there. So you have to have some backstops in terms of that. But other than that, you have to, and the biggest thing is you have to create a culture around the belief and that being true.
Right.
And I think he's probably.
Isn't Reddit pretty
Reddit
unfiltered?
Yes, but the problem with Reddit is it's like very like it's a nerd's place. It's a nerd's playground. It's not easy to use.
Oh.
It's difficult to follow conversations if you're not used to it because they have these weird threads. It's not like super obvious how to use it. And it's like the UI, the user interface is just, it's not like you're using Twitter or Instagram. It's clunky. Gotcha. It's nerdy. It's like, it's people who like writing code, So they're relatively open. There's a few, like there's this app called Minds, which is it's a social media. It's really similar to Twitter, except for their algorithm is open source, so you can see exactly what is being fed to you and how, and you can adjust your algorithm to the likings that you want. It's pretty interesting, but it's difficult to use it because it's not the mainstay. There's not the people that you want on there talking. Like, it's often a lot of like conspiracy theorists and fringe people who adopt these things first because they feel open to discuss what they're discussing in these forums and in these different apps that are kind of on the fringes. And that's why all of these apps end up getting like, Parler ended up being like a super right-wing app where there was weird shit going on, and Google just said like Parler's not allowed to be on our servers anymore. And so Parler's done. There's quite a few apps that have gone through that sort of thing where you get these fringe minorities that are really out there. They adopt it and it becomes like a cesspool for those people.
So what's to say that won't happen to Elon's? That was to say that Apple and Google won't be like, all right, yeah, we don't really even want you. We just want Twitter.
So the difference is Elon has 50 million followers on Twitter.
No, I know. But what happens if Google and Apple have this backdoor agreement with Twitter and they won't even allow it on the Apple Store or on the App Store?
I don't think that they would get away with that with Elon. Like if Elon, he has 80 million followers on Twitter, with him being the head of it. It would be really hard, I think, for them to block it. Yeah, it's possible. I mean, Google did this crazy thing. I think it was in the early 2000s. But Google actually blocked access to every single web page on the internet for about 45 minutes.
Single red page?
They blocked access to every single web page on the internet for about 45 minutes.
How'd they do that? When did they do that?
I think it was in 2012. And they said that it was a glitch, like it was a mistake. But the actual like mechanics behind it and the way that it happened,
right, test,
seem pretty like it would. So we have financial markets all over the world that use the internet constantly, right? And if you get in the way of people's money, you piss a lot of fucking people off, right? So there was a 45-minute window where there are no markets in the world operating. And this was the only window when it happened. Which calls into question, like, was this something that was an accident, or was it a bunch of nerds testing to see if they could actually make it happen? Right? So, yeah, essentially what every browser reads from, and this is changing. So browsers like Brave actually crawl on their own. But because Google was first to all of this, Google crawls the internet and looks for things that are bad. And they have a blacklist and a whitelist and all of these different lists for web pages that are unsafe, that you don't want people going to, and they'll block them. So they'll take those websites down. They'll put them on a list where all of the other browsers read from Google's sheet of blacklisted websites and will block those as well. So it'll just bounce right off of Google's sheet and say, oh, we're not going to use that list, because they use all of Google's data to run their browsers.
Huh.
So essentially what Google did for like a 30 to 40 minute period was they blacklisted every website on the planet, every website on the internet.
That's
and
cool.
So there was a 45-minute window where if you weren't on the internet, and it was 2012, so it was a little bit less,
I was probably not.
Yeah, I don't know where I was, obviously, but a lot of people didn't even notice.
Yeah.
And then like the people talked about it. There were news stories on it, but they just said that there was a glitch or whatever in Google's listings, which is pretty crazy. So Google has this ability to kind of just annex anybody from our digital society right now. And that's changing a little bit. Like the browser that I use is Brave, and they do some crawling, but not to the extent that Google does. So they still have to, as far as I know, they still have to do a little bit of data transfer from Google's servers and stuff. And obviously, I really don't understand how all of this works, because I'm not an engineer. I'm not a data scientist or whatever. But as far as I know, that's kind of how that.
Why don't you just search on Google in private mode?
So that doesn't really mean anything. I mean, it really does. That's just like when boxes advertise on their thing that they're like, oh, it's a better for you, right? And then they just change the ingredient to something that's as bad, if not worse, right?
So you don't think it's actually private?
No, well, it's not. I know it's not. Google's privacy browser is not private. They can still read your IP address. They can still do everything. It just doesn't hold it in your history.
Whoa.
So it is all it does, and it holds it in their history. So all it does is it makes it feel like you're doing something, right? Because you go in your history and you can't see where you were.
Right. So you're like, oh, I got them.
Which you don't have them. They got you, my man. They really got you. Yeah, and Google's crazy. Google has the ability to fully swing elections, as does Facebook.
Yeah, they probably have.
And they have. No, they have.
Yeah.
Because like if you think about when you're typing in something in Google, all of the suggestions that pop up, they can manipulate those suggestions all they want. So one of the things, like when it was Donald Trump and Hillary, right? one
Yeah.
of they were obviously Democratic, so they were going for Hillary. One of the things that they were able to do was, like, if someone was searching Hillary Clinton, all of the suggestions, there was not a negative suggestion on there. It was Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton is awesome. Hillary Clinton is blah 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 blah. They were all good, right?
Yeah.
And then if you looked up Donald Trump, there was one good one, and then the rest were negative. And there were only 4 for Hillary when you searched hers, and then there were like 8 to 10 for Donald Trump that were mostly negative.
Huh.
So they've done studies on this, and you can swing like 80% of undecided voters just by their searches,
That's crazy.
which is a lot of fucking people.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We're in a world where, like, the tech and the things that you interact with every day, and you almost have to interact with every day because that's how the world works. They're manipulating you as often as they can.
That makes sense. Because they are. Can I just, like, go to metaverse? Can I just, like, go to the metaverse right now?
Honestly, I have no idea.
I don't even know how to do
Neither
it.
do I. Maybe we should do a podcast in the metaverse. Maybe that's how we'll end up being in the same place. Because you don't love me enough to move down here.
Oh, here we go again.
Peter's tired. Peter's tired of hearing it.
I want to go into the metaverse. I want to go in real quick.
I've literally no idea how you get in. And
How to get in the metaverse?
yeah.
Oh, you need hardware.
Yeah, I think you need like an Oculus.
Well, I'll never be in the metaverse.
Well, and that's why Mark Zuckerberg is pivoting all of his business towards the metaverse, is because they own the stack. They have all of the hardware. It's coming from them, and they're so far ahead. Like we talked about in the last podcast, Oculus's hardware is far better than any other hardware that's out there currently. So, and it's the same thing as, like, if you own your iPhone, or if you have an iPhone, Apple owns the hardware, so they pretty much own the real estate on the phone. Which makes it really difficult for anyone who's under that to not get played. Like, if Apple feels like you're making too much money, they'll just turn off your money.
Right.
Creepy. Yeah, which is tough. So Mark wants to be in control of the whole stack. So he's going all in on the metaverse and Oculus. And when you own the hardware, you own the system. So
Damn.
yeah. Well, there's our politics and business and, world section. What's going on in sports, Peter?
Oh, that was a short section, dude. You left me like 5 minutes. Appreciate it.
Well, there's no time limit on our podcast.
Sports. I don't know. Lakers are no longer in the playoffs.
Lakers aren't in the playoffs whatsoever, huh?
No.
Are they in last?
They're out of a playoff spot. They're in 10th or 11th? 10th. I think 10th.
How does that happen? Who do they have? LeBron. They have
Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook. And they suck.
I mean, can you just not have, like...
They're in 11th.
Like, what would happen if 5 years ago you had brought Messi, Ronaldo, and I don't know who else, all on one team? Neymar.
They would have dominated.
Do you think so? Or would they have just shit themselves because they couldn't play together?
They would have dominated.
Okay. So why is it in this case that...
Because they're all old.
Are they?
Yeah, and they suck. Well, LeBron's really good, but everyone else sucks. Russell Westbrook's terrible.
How long has Russell Westbrook been in the NBA?
My guess is 12 years.
That's a guess, or is that how long he's been in there?
He was drafted in 2008, so 14 years.
And how long has LeBron been in? This is his 18th season, isn't it?
I think this is 19th. Um, 2003, so 19th.
And he's waiting for his son. So he's got 2 more seasons.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's still dominant.
But he's still
dominant.
Yeah, he's still yeah. The only thing is he's like picking up little injuries here and there.
Right, which makes sense. But
which he's gone 19 years without doing that.
You know what he needs to do?
Most guys
honestly,
do that.
And I'm taking this from a Dave Chappelle bit, is after his son plays, just become a woman and go play 15 seasons in the WNBA and score 400 points a game.
He could. He really could.
In his 60s.
Don't think that would be allowed.
In his 60s.
I don't think that'd be allowed.
I honestly think LeBron could play into his 60s in the WNBA and be dominant.
Oh, probably. Yeah. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. There's really not much going in sports. We got March Madness. We had the first 15 seed ever make it to the Elite Eight.
Which team is that?
And they lost. St. Peter's.
They made it to the Elite Eight?
Yeah. They have. So they played Kentucky the first round. And the Kentucky coach got paid more in a yearly salary than the St. Peter's basketball team had for their whole budget.
That makes a lot of sense.
They have like one of the smallest budgets in all of Division I basketball.
Were they good? How did they make it?
They're good, yeah. I mean, they won their conference, and then they just played hard, played together.
And they had that one kid on their team that had never eaten sandwiches, right? Have you seen that video of him?
Huh?
What's his name?
Was it Doug Eddard?
Yeah. I saw an interview with him, and he's like, "Yeah, I think I've taken one bite of like a chicken parm sandwich, and ever since then, I've never wanted to. I've never eaten them to get like that." He just doesn't. He eats everything separately. He doesn't. He doesn't eat things put together.
That's weird.
So, that's that's a good, interesting little tidbit for you.
Little tidbit, little titty bitty.
Yeah, that's
I have an update from our story on Monday.
Oh yeah. Let's go into that.
The unionizing thing. So, that guy who's trying to unionize a small business,
Black roasting coffee company,
Black Coffee Roasting
there
Company.
You
go. Yep. Is now on a pursuit to try and unionize all of the service workers in Missoula.
Oh, okay. I don't even. So that entails your parents' business.
Oh yeah. Oh, I hope he comes in and I'm working. I'd punch him.
Peter, you've never punched a fly.
Well, I'm about to punch a
guy.
Dumbass.
A guy.
For free.
There you go. Yeah, dude. What's this guy's name again?
Keith Farr.
How the hell do you spell that?
Keefefar.
Okay, first off, of course. Right? There's no way that there would be a normal fucking name to a guy that's trying to unionize a whole city.
He feels
right. Keith, Keefe.
He feels empowered.
Keith, what's his last name again? the only reason he's doing that is because everyone's telling him quit your job and go get a different one. And the only way he sees that he cannot do that and stay in his barista job because he likes being a little barista is by unionizing the whole city, all of the service industries, and then they have control. And then you know what's going to fucking happen is you're not going to have any small businesses in your goddamn city.
Yeah, no.
They're all going to go out of business.
Yeah. And then he's going to start a new thing and say, get back small businesses in Missoula. Because he's all about supporting small businesses, too. You go to his Instagram page.
I know that
he's always at a small business, but he wants to unionize a small business. Doesn't make sense.
Dude, let's ask him on the pod.
Dude. Honestly, we should.
Because
no, I'm serious.
No,
I'll DM him on Instagram.
I don't understand what his view is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why how he thinks that this will help the businesses.
I guarantee he'd come on.
You think so?
Yeah. A whole new news people just did a story on it.
I don't understand.
That'd be quite the first.
There are reasons to have unions in some cases.
Right.
But there are also reasons why great companies don't have unions. Like Tesla. They have 100,000 employees. They haven't unionized. Because they get, for one, they get paid properly and they feel like they're doing something worthwhile.
Right.
And
dude,
it's not an entry level job, for one.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't understand how he thinks that is going to help small businesses. I really don't.
We should get him.
All right, reach out to him.
You reach out to him.
Why me? You're the one from Montana.
It was your idea.
Okay, I'll reach out to him. Shit. Send me his Instagram.
Perfect. All right, I'm doing it right now. Oh, this is going to get crazy. This is going to get wild.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do some research on unions because in all honesty, I don't know enough about them. But I don't believe that it's in the best interest of small businesses for their employees to unionize. If you have 4 employees, why the hell would you need a union? Unions are for large companies that employ a significant amount of the population in a city. And then the price of the city is more than what they're getting paid. This is obviously just off the top of my head. But at that point, the company has so much control over your life because they're one of the largest employers that you have to create a union that makes it so that you get paid enough. And those jobs are often not entry level, I think. I'm not 100% sure on that. No, I'm saying when you have a legitimate union.
Oh yeah.
Like they're not.
Yeah, it's like the teachers union.
Right, they're not entry level jobs. Also, the teachers union is so fucked. Like they're not helping students whatsoever.
No.
The teachers union were the ones that were pushing to not reopen schools.
Right, because they didn't want to teach.
Which if you've been around a fucking kid, like we were talking about earlier, who hasn't been in school in a year, they need to fucking go to school because they're getting stupider.
Yeah.
And they need to see friends. Honestly, it's more just the socialization than the schooling. Because you learn so much just being around friends.
Yeah. Or bullies.
I think the school system's pretty fucking broken, but having schools is important, especially at those younger ages. I think when it really gets broken is when you get up into the collegiate level. But man,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm really gonna have to do some more research. I want to be as thoughtful as possible if we have him on about.
Not just emotional.
Well, yeah. Well, because I mean, it seems ludicrous to be like, I'm not getting paid enough at my barista job, so I need to start a union. And I mean, this guy can't be that old. It's not like he's in his 60s.
No.
The guy's probably in his 30s. Go learn how to code. Become an influencer, dude. If you're going to so many local spots, become an influencer. Get the local restaurants to pay you for coming to their spots.
Yeah.
I don't like. This is just lazy.
Yeah.
And if you move
And tearing down businesses while he's doing it.
Yeah. And, I mean, you're calling out small businesses for not being able to pay you enough.
Which is literally what a small business is.
Yeah.
Like what do you expect?
I don't. The people in that restaurant or in that coffee shop had too much time to talk to each other. So I don't know that the coffee company's doing that well.
So they're super successful wholesale. So they deliver wholesale throughout the whole entire country.
Okay.
But then they have the coffee shop. And
the baristas are the ones that are trying to unionize, right? The
baristas, yeah, not the wholesale delivery people, not the roasters, it's the baristas.
Fuck, dude. I mean, some people just got to realize when their job's not that important.
Well, his whole thing was like we were considered first line workers, and
he's playing into the COVID shit.
Yeah.
Oh God, Keith, bro. It's done, man. Go back to where was he from? San Francisco?
Seattle.
Go
Where
back.
they defunded the police.
Oh my God! No wonder he moved, man. Hey, these people just.
He probably led the way to defund the police in Seattle. Got his house broken into, and then realized, oh shit, I don't want to live here anymore because there's no police.
Let's go to Montana where there's a fucking hard police presence.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that he's very thoughtful.
I don't know, man.
You said his name is Keith.
Keith Farr.
Farr.
I sent you his profile and the unionizer's Instagram profile.
Oh, he made an Instagram for it.
Yeah.
Wow, he's really making progress.
He has more progress than we have on this podcast.
No. The thing that we're doing is we're being thoughtful, Peter.
Oh, that's right.
I don't think Keith Farr is very thoughtful. I think he's a little bit overly emotional because being a barista can be done by a robot and he's not very good at his job, maybe. I don't know. Maybe he makes a great cup of joe, but how many people give a shit?
I make a good cup of joe.
If you have a robot that makes a cup of coffee that is a little bit worse than Keith Farr's cup of coffee, but it's $3 cheaper.
Yeah.
You're gonna fucking
get the robot cup of coffee.
Get the robot cup of coffee, dude. And you're gonna say you're gonna walk by Keith Farr on the way out with his union freaking poster, or give me my job back poster, and say, dude, go find a new job. It's over for you. The robots won.
Yeah.
If I was this company, I would be all in on robot baristas right now.
Oh, for sure.
Be like, these goddamn people, they're out of their minds. Keith Farr interview. I want to see what this man looks like. So there's no more sports going on right now, Peter?
Yeah, no, not really.
Did you DM it to me,
Dude,
on Instagram?
yeah. Just go look at their last post. I can't do this, man. They're using quotes from 1912.
Ah, nice, dude.
The worker must have bread, but must also have roses.
Okay, first off, first thing, 1 second, let me say something. He's a goddamn artist.
Yeah.
I love art.
Yeah.
I love art. No one cares. Oh my God, Keith, bro.
It's about this. He literally.
Honestly, some of his art is pretty sick.
Yeah, his art is actually really good.
And he drew Putin. So long ago. Did he start the war? Dude, I think Keith is the reason we have a war.
Dude, I just can't. They have 1,500 followers on Instagram.
Oh, that's so upsetting. Oh my God, dude. All of these people look exactly like you would think. Hold up, dude. They put comrade. These are socialists. They're legitimate socialists.
Yes, I know.
And then someone wrote in the comments, solidarity.
Yeah.
Dude, these are fucking communists. This is crazy, dude. Communists in the wild. We got to start this as a segment. Communists in the wild. Oh, my Lord. Unions make coffee stronger. How? You don't. Sent you a DM. Wow, you nailed it. I've been working in the industry for 30 years, and it does take skill as well as physical endurance with little to no respect for many customers. It is also one of the few industries where your pay is dependent on the mood and mindset of the person you are helping. Together, your voice can be heard and no longer ignored. Keep up the good fight? Hey, no. That's not how it works. If you're making a cup of coffee, it's an entry-level job. Especially if you're working at a small business. Dude, what does
Are you going to reach out to
There
him?
is no such thing as unskilled labor. And all work deserves dignity and a living wage. I love a living wage. I want people to get paid well. Let me be as clear as I can. However, if you're not getting paid enough, quit and find a better job. Go on Fiverr and do art for people who need art. He's an artist. Do art on Fiverr. You'll get paid way more money.
Yeah.
I need to do some damn... socialism is the bane of existence in the fucking world. Because no matter what, if you think that you need to separate the money from the wealthy and give it to everyone else, there has to be a heavy hand that is moving that money. And at some point, that heavy hand is going to fall onto you. And it will not go well. And then you won't have bread. And let me tell you,
or roses.
Fucking for sure won't have coffee. Give us
Are you
bread.
gonna reach out to him?
Give us bread, but give us roses too.
Okay, I just can't believe that they're comparing this to a 1912 strike in a textile
I
warehouse.
mean, to be honest, I really don't understand. Maybe I'm stupid, which is highly possible, but I don't know what that means.
It means that they want to afford. They need to be able to afford food, but then they also need to have wealth beyond just the necessities, like roses.
Okay. I just. To think that everyone should get paid equally for different jobs, for different inputs of time and effort, for different risks assessments, you're out to lunch with what you're thinking. You are absolutely lost in life. Because there are people that are risking so much more to make their life what they want it to be. They're working so much harder than you. You work from 8 to 5, whatever your hours are, right? And if you're a barista, you're working that, and then you go home and you watch Netflix and you doodle. Right? Or if you're a hard-ass working barista and you want to make it somewhere, you're doing that, you're being a barista, and then after you're researching how to start a coffee business. And you're setting up your business plan. And you're going to start your own coffee business because you think that you should have wealth. And if you do it that way, you could fucking become wealthy. But it should not be given to you. You should have to work for it. When things are given, for one, they're not treated as highly. And for two, they're given to everybody no matter how hard you work, which is so hard. What happens in sports? Do you think that I should play professional soccer? Because let me tell you this, I shouldn't. I'm not good enough. The game would be boring.
Oh man. Are we gonna have him on?
I'll reach out to him.
Okay.
Kind
of nervous.
I'm nervous too, which is, I mean, that's good, because we're thoughtful people. We're not trying to ruin small businesses, man.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
I probably shouldn't let him know what business I'm attached to in Missoula.
Well, unfortunately, he can do some research if he wants.
That's true.
But third wave, and their logo is literally a knife and a coffee roaster. I don't even know what that is, but it's like the socialism cross or whatever.
Yeah. Communism cross.
What is it called? It's the Oh yeah, they're not socialists, they're communists. This is why you should fact check all of this, because I'm an absolute moron.
Yeah. It's the communists.
What is it? The heckle and hammer or whatever. What do they call it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the half moon and hammer thing.
The hammer and sickle. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
It's literally these people are legitimate communists. You have communists living in Montana, Peter.
Oh yeah.
One of the freest states in the country. And you've got communists trying to take over. I love it.
Big time.
Oh man, I'm so interested. We got to talk with this guy. Oh my God. Did you look at Dude, they're trying to match their outfits.
The press one?
Yeah.
The beanie Blundstones? Yeah.
Burning will to fight for workers' rights.
Yeah.
Burning will to not work very hard and make enough money. Look at these angels. Man. so sad. This makes me sad, dude.
It's something. All right, we should probably wrap this up.
I suppose. Dude, his coffee doesn't even look that good. That's a sad cup of coffee if I've ever seen one. All right. That is episode 9, a very emotional episode. I think we got
Emotional ending.
We had an emotional ending. We had an emotional middle too, a little bit. We got emotional about COVID.
Oh yeah, we did.
This has been, it's been a solid episode. I've enjoyed this one. This one was fun.
Yeah.
Maybe
next one we could have a visitor.
We'll see if we get a visitor on the next one. That's gonna be, dude. What if he comes on here and just tears us to shreds?
Then I'd be impressed.
I would too. I would respect it. Maybe we'll be communists by episode 11.
Yeah, if he makes a good point.
Maybe we'll be fucking communists by episode 11. All right. Yeah.
I know there's actually a lot of people that if we had him on would listen to it.
What?
There's a lot of people that if we had him on, they would listen to that episode.
Yeah. I mean, dude, if we got a communist on our podcast, dude, we're popping off, bro. That's
10 episodes
sick.
in, we got a communist.
We got a
already.
communist. That's gonna be the episode title is Searching for a Communist.
We got a communist.
No, this episode's title is gonna be Searching for a Communist. Honestly, if you're a communist, drop a comment.
Communist comment.
A communist comment. I expect some comrades. I expect some solidarities in the comments. And thanks for listening, especially if you're a communist. Because
See you next time.
We all deserve everything. No matter what we do. And thank you, Comrade Peter. It's been a fantastic episode. And
Comrade Dev.
We'll see you guys in episode 10 next week. Goodbye.